Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started on today's video, I want to first say I'm sorry for my little absence. Man, I have just had, it has been one thing after another, which is always with me, right? I'm going to explain everything to you guys about where I've been, what's been going on, and why I haven't put out a video the last couple of days. So get a drink, get a project worked on, and I will explain everything to you guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Usually I always post a video Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesday I like to do my tutorials. Monday just kind of a chatting with Alana video or a magazine flip through. And then Friday, a Finish It Friday, which I have not had time to sit down and do because in the process of moving and I'm packing up one house and I'm packing up another house and trying to crochet and trying to film and this and that and this and that and this. Blah, 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 blah. I have not had time to work on a Finish It Friday project, so I'm going to explain as to why I have not put out a video the last couple of days, but I've got some good news and I'm so happy to show you guys this and to tell you guys what's been going on. So first of all, the reason I haven't put out a video in the last couple of days is because it was recently my 40th birthday. So, well, first of all, today is Tuesday, the 18th. Tomorrow is my mom's birthday. But today is Tuesday, the 18th. I'm pretty sure. Yes, tomorrow's Wednesday, the 19th. All right, so Thursday was November the 13th, and that was my 40th birthday. And my husband woke me up, and he's like, well, what do you want to do today? It's your 40th birthday. Let's go do something. What do you want to do? And I was like, well, I need to go to Walmart. I need to get yarn because I really, 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 for my Christmas projects this year, I'm going to kick off my slippers and get comfortable. I said, for my 40th birthday this year, I really want to, for my Christmas tutorials this year, I really want to do two things. I want to do a granny stitch, and by granny stitch, I mean 3 double crochet shell granny stitch stocking, and I want to do a chevron Christmas tree skirt. I've always wanted to do a Christmas tree skirt since I've been doing YouTube, and I've never done one. I want to do a Christmas tree skirt, and I need red, green, white yarn, and I do not have enough. So I want to go to Walmart to get that. I want to go to Ross because I want to find a water bottle because I need to get back on track with my weight loss because I'm starting to gain a little bit. But I wanted to find a water bottle that has a line for each hour, and this is how much water you're supposed to have drank by that hour, because I am not a water drinker. I do not do good at drinking water. I'm not kidding. I probably, in a day, I bet I don't drink I bet I don't drink a cup of water. Like, this is coffee, and I probably drink half of this from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I do not drink that much at all, and it drives my husband nuts. If I complain, and I don't complain. I don't tell him that, oh, I got a headache, or I don't tell him, oh, I hurt my finger. I don't ever say anything. So if I ever tell him, oh man, my back hurts, he's like, you don't drink enough water. You need to drink more water. It's because you're dehydrated. You're not drinking enough water. Every single time. If I ever say anything, or it's like, oh, man, I got a cramp in my legs because you don't have enough water. You're not drinking enough water. So I never tell him anything, but it's a joke in our house because he always says every time I ever say anything, you don't drink enough water. So I told him I wanted to go to Ross to try to find a water bottle to force me to drink water. And then I wanted to go to Maurice's, which is a clothing store, because last Christmas or my last birthday, my husband gave me a Maurice's gift card, and I still had like $35 left on it. So I was like, well, I need to go spend that. And then I wanted to do that. Oh, and then I wanted to go to Alton, which is over by the Mississippi River, because there is a waterfowl refugee place, and I love going over there to drive through there to listen to the ducks and then to see the ducks over there because they're so cute to see them just all like swimming around. And when the river is wavy, it is the cutest thing ever to see them all clustered together, and they're like the little bodies just going like, it's adorable. I love watching it. But anyway, I said let's go do that. And then Alton has a restaurant called Fast Eddie's. I love going there because I am a brat girl. I love eating brats. One of my favorite meals is when my husband grills out and he grills brats and burgers and hot dogs. I love brats. Beer brats, stadium brats, cheddar brats. Oh, I love brats. And Fast Eddie's has one of the best brats. So I was like, I want to go to Fast Eddie's. I want to have a brat. And he likes to put like $20 in one of those gambling machines. I don't get into that. I'd rather just watch him. I just don't get into gambling. I'd rather just keep my money. So I just watch him, and then I eat my brat and just kind of do my own little thing. And so I was like, that's what I want to do today. And then I want to come home, and then by the time we get home, Emma will be home from school, and then Jalen wouldn't be home until Friday because she had class. And yeah, because she had class Friday morning. So I was like, we'll do that through the day. And then by the time Emma gets out of class and drives 2 hours home, we'll be home. So, so we did that. We got up, we did our thing, and we went over to Alton, and we went to Ross, and I couldn't find a water, but well, I did find a water bottle, and I didn't like it. It was too expensive and it was too big, and I was like, there is no way I could drink that much water. No way. And the last line on the water bottle, the time was like 9:30, and I'm like, I do not get up. I am not awake at 9:30. I am dead asleep at 9:30. No, there's no way. So I'm like, nope, that's not the one for me. But anyway, so we got there, and then we went to Maurice's. This is all in the little mall there in Alton. And I found some shirts that I liked, and then I put them on, and they're a little too tight, and I was like, no. And my husband looked over, and he saw this sweater, and he's like, honey, look at this sweater. And he said this because he's like, I know you're going to love this sweater. And I look over and I see this black sweater with words down the center. And I've got a story about this shirt. I'll tell you in a second. There's this black sweater with a couple little smiley faces and then this colorful words down the middle. And I was like, what does it say? And it says, good moms say bad words. And I was like, I love it. I love that shirt. I want that sweater. So I asked the girl working, I was like, could you get that? Because I can't reach it. I was like, could you get a medium down for me? And she grabs it and she's like, do you want to try it on? I was like, absolutely. So I go try it on, and my gift card was $35 and this sweater was $40. And I was like, oh my gosh. So he's like, I'll pay the difference. I was like, yes. So I try it on and I love the way it fits. And I was like, this is what I want. I want this. So I spent my gift card and I got this adorable sweater. And it's got these little bitty smiley faces on it that, like, the sweater's black. And the little smiley faces are like these like little pastels. They're adorable. I love it. If I remember, the last time I posted a video, I forgot to insert the picture. But if I remember, I'll insert a picture here and show you guys this sweater. I love this sweater. This is so me. But here's the picture of it. I think it's so cute. But I love it. So I got this sweater. And then, let's see. Did we go eat next? Yeah, I think we went to eat. So I of course, I got my brat. And then I had, I got my brat, and I had pork on a stick, and then I had a gin and tonic, and oh man, that brat was so good. The pork is always really salty, which I love salt. I eat so much salt. In my last blood test, I had low sodium, and my husband's like, how do you have low sodium with the amount of salt you eat? I'm like, I don't know. My body loves salt, and I eat a lot of salt. Anyway. So, oh, that brat did not disappoint on my birthday. Oh My gosh. Wait until I tell you this. And I'll insert a picture here. I cannot make this up. Okay, so we go to Fast Eddie's to eat. And I'll insert a picture of the receipt. I took a picture and I sent this to my girls and I said, tell me this is not God's way of saying we are at the right place at the right time in my life. On 11:13 a.m. This is our receipt for our brats and our lunch. On my birthday at 11:13, our receipt. It was so cool. Here it is. I'll insert the picture. I gotta make a note to remember to insert these pictures. I kept the receipt. Yes. I got my brat for my 40th birthday at 11:13 on 11:13. But so yes, and I was eating my brat. My husband and I had our lunch, and then he played his little gambling machine. He didn't win any. Well, I think he won like 12 cents. I don't know. But anyway, so then after that, he took me to the waterfowl reserve thing, and we drove through there, and there is this cluster. I call them ducks, and I actually looked it up, and they're not ducks. They're called coots, which is the cutest thing to me. They're called American coots. They're all black with this big old white beak, and the creepiest looking feet I have ever seen. And they're actually not ducks, which I didn't know that. But there's a cluster of them, and they're just floating along on the waves. And I'm like, oh, they're the cutest thing I've ever seen. And they're just floating along like a group of them. And so I zoomed in and took a picture of them. And I told my husband, I was like, look at him. So he pulled over and we watched him just kind of, bloop, bloop, bloop on the waves. And I was like, I love this. And then something bad happened. I got a migraine. And I was like, and I was trying not to cry because I was like, please don't ruin this. So the first thing I did was I grabbed my purse and I popped 3 ibuprofen real quick. And then I had my emergency migraine medication and I popped 2 of them. And then in about, I'd say about 20 minutes, it went away. But for the next 45 minutes, I looked like, which I'm sorry if this offends anybody, I looked like I was high, like I was stoned. I was like, I could function, like I could talk. I was perfectly fine, but I was like, but I was okay. It went away, and then we drove around the rest of the reservoir, and I got to see. My husband said it had to have been just the sky was full of mallards, which is one of my 2 favorite ducks. Probably a wood duck and a mallards. They're so pretty. And they were in the sky and they just kind of flew around, and then they finally decided to all land. Well, of course we couldn't get to them, but we could hear them. So we rolled down the window and all you hear was just and I'm sitting there just giggling because this is the cutest thing ever. All you hear is just like, I love this. This is the best birthday. Well, then we pull forward a little bit, and then you look over, and it's like this, like it almost like a marshy kind of area between fields, like cornfields that hadn't been harvested yet, and the duck, like these, like just random mallard ducks. They were male mallards, so they had that emerald green heads, and they were fighting each other. And I look over and I zoomed in real close. My phone has this amazing zoom. The pictures aren't the clearest, but they zoomed in real close, and you can see these 2 mallards fighting, and it was so cute. And I took a picture. I'll insert a picture. It's not the greatest, but you could see them fighting. I loved it. My husband keeps binoculars in our truck, so I was watching them through the binoculars and my camera. So I got to see mallards, and while I was halfway high on my migraine medication, I hadn't had a migraine in I don't know how long, which this is going to lead into another story that I have to tell you guys about. But so that was on my birthday. And then, so my migraine went away, and I was so happy that it went away. And I was trying not to cry because I was so upset that I had a migraine. And I was so happy I got to see these these mallards. And then after that, we went to Walmart, and I swear, okay, before I move on, we saw the mallards, and then it was like, okay, honey, it's getting to where Emma's going to be getting close to home. Let's go ahead and start heading towards home. So we start heading towards home, and we stop by our local Walmart because I need the red, white, and oh man, I need the red, white, and green yarn for holy cow. I need the red, white, and green yarn for the upcoming projects I want to do for YouTube. And I swear, everyone in the county that I live in must have bought every skein of red, white, and green yarn from Walmart because they had nothing. I was like, dang it, I have nothing. But okay. So we went ahead and got home, and my husband gave me my birthday present, and he bought me something that I didn't really want to tell him that I wanted because it was a lot of money. But I really wanted it. I really wanted it a lot, and he got it for me. And it's a Switch 2, which I really wanted. It's a lot of money, but it's so cool to me. And he bought it for me, and he bought me a Pro controller and two of my favorite things, which not a lot of people know that I love, which is gum and Carmex chapstick. Like, that is so, I'm like, honey, you know me. You know me so well. I do not go anywhere without chapstick and gum. I hate not having gum and chapstick. I constantly have chapstick, and I get it from my dad. My dad is the exact same way. He has a shirt with a pocket, and he has gum and chapstick. Now, he prefers Blistex, I think. Yeah, I think my dad always has Blistex. But I like the Carmex. Not the round one that you unscrew the lid. Like, I have like the Carmex. It's on my desk right now. But the Carmex, like the little cap that you take off, I love the cherry and the strawberry. And I have a pack of extra gum with me everywhere I go, in my pocket, in my purse, all the time. And my dad's the exact same way. And he has the extra soft mint, and I have the extra polar ice. I don't know why. I've always done it. So he bought me a Switch 2, and it has Mario Kart on it. I love Mario. I love Nintendo. Anyway, so he bought me the Switch 2 with Mario Kart and a Pro controller. And he bought me a pack of extra gum and a pack of Carmex chapsticks, a 3-pack. And I was like, I love you. So then he gives me that, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you, honey. I'm so excited. I love it. Thank you. Aw. And so, I got that, and then not long after that, Emma got home. So Emma comes in, and she hands me a bag. And I was like, Emma, thank you. Oh my gosh. So I start opening it, and she is filming it. And I haven't seen the video, actually, now that I think about it. I forgot she videotaped it. So she's like, hold on. I gotta videotape it. And I was like, all right. So I start opening it, and I'm like, what is this? Well, all I see is like a denim. And you guys know from my videos, I always have a denim shirt on, which is something else I get from my dad. My dad always has a denim button-up shirt. Now, he always cuts the sleeves out. I always have sleeves. I don't cut my sleeves off. I've always have my sleeves on. My dad always cuts his sleeves off. But I don't know. I always have a button-up denim shirt on. But anyway, all I see is denim, and I'm like, Emma, yes, I love denim shirts. Thank you. So I pull it out, and all I see, let me get up close so you guys can see this. All I see is like, you know, embroidery. My hair is a mess today. That's why I have a hat on. All I see is like embroidery, you know, yarn and a bird. And I'm like, what on earth? And I pull it out and I'm like, Emma, I love it. So it's a cat playing with yarn and a bird playing with it. And then on this side, look at it. How cute is this? I was like, Emma, this is my favorite thing ever. I said, I love this. So I've been wearing it like every day since. So then she got me this. And then she got me a pack of sugar-free Lifesavers and a sugar-free candy bar. And I was like, Emma, thank you. So I've been wearing it like every day. I was like, I love it. This is perfect. So then she's like, I have got to tell you a story about it. And I was like, okay, what? She goes, on Jalen's birthday, which was October 17th, we took Jalen out to eat at Texas Roadhouse. And then we took her to a couple resale shops and a couple thrift stores and got her a few things. And she said, Alana, we were in St. Louis at the St. Louis thrift store, St. Louis antique store. And she said, you were walking around looking at stuff. And she said, it was just me and Dad. And I found this. And she said, I grabbed it and I walked up to Dad. And I said, Dad, do you think Alana would like this for her birthday? And Dad goes, yeah, she'd love it. And she goes, I asked Dad that, and here you come. She said, you turned and looked right at me, and I hurried up and wadded it up. And she said, you walked up to me and said, oh, did you find something? And she said, I just looked at you and said, yeah, and just tried to play it off like I was aggravated and walked up to the register and checked out, and you didn't say anything about it. And I was like, Emma, I do not remember that at all. She goes, you were like, oh, you were so excited that I found something and you had no clue what it was. I was like, I don't remember at all. I was probably just happy that you found something cool for yourself. She goes, I was so worried that you were going to make me or ask me to show you what I bought. I was like, I don't remember. She goes, I was trying to play like I was aggravated, and I was like, that's probably why I didn't ask you to show me, because you were aggravated. She goes, well, that's when I bought it for you. I was like, well, thank you. I love it. So that was the end of Thursday night, my birthday night. So then that was like, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. It was getting late, and I'm like, Emma, honey, I am so tired. And Matt and I, my husband, were like, oh, we're gonna go to bed. And about 8:30, 9 o'clock, we came downstairs and went to bed. And then 4:30, 5 o'clock, my husband and I get up, and I go to the bathroom, and I come out of the bathroom, and there's my husband, like, right in my face. And I was like, hi, honey. And he's like, did you hook up your Switch 2 yet? And I'm like, I'm on my way to do it now. And he goes, there's a surprise for you. And I was like, what? He goes, look at the bedroom door. And I look over at the bedroom door, that's because Jalen and Emma each have a bedroom they sleep in, and they shut their bedroom doors because the cats will get in there and wake them up all night. And I look, and both of the doors are shut. And I was like, did Jalen come home last night? Because she wasn't supposed to come home until later in the Friday afternoon, because she has class. And he's like, yeah, she came home last night, Thursday night. And I was like, are you serious? So she's not going to go to class Friday today? He's like, nope, she skipped class. So I opened the door and I jumped in bed with her and made her get up. So I made both of the girls get up at like 6 o'clock, and I was like, yay, we're all together. So this is a little insert that I completely forgot to even mention. I want to show you what Jalen got me. This is an adorable little house that she got me. It's actually a Christmas decoration, but I'm not going to keep it up for just Christmas. I'm going to keep it up all the time. If you look, it's called Danny's Pub, but I think it's absolutely adorable. And she told me when she got it, she wanted it because it reminds her of something that's kind of close to where we're building our cabin or our house in northern Wisconsin. This is something that's similar to where something that what you would see close to where we are in Wisconsin. So she said, "Mom, it reminded me of what you have up there. So when you're up there, this is what I want you to see." So I was like, "Oh, I love it." So I wanted to insert this clip because I forgot all about mentioning this. And I saw this, she gave it to me really early Friday morning and I forgot to show it. So I'm trying to remember what we did Friday. Oh, geez. I'm telling you, it was a whirlwind. Okay. So, yeah. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze and I wanted to take a drink and my nose is all stuffy. Okay, so then, Friday, Emma had a big project for school she had to get done. And then Matt had, stuff he had to get done in the field. And, so I was like, Jalen, I need you to help me while Emma gets her homework done. Matt gets stuff done in the field. Will you help me go to the house? Let's load up this TV stand and this TV. We'll bring it home, and then me and you can kind of do our own little thing while Emma does her homework and Matt does that. And then I want to watch TV. I want to watch this movie. I told the girls, I said, Friday, I want to watch what I want for my birthday to continue my birthday. I want to watch two movies with you guys. I want to watch Young Guns and Young Guns 2 because I want you guys to see these movies. You guys are going to love these movies. Well, Jalen had just seen these movies in theaters called Black Phone and Black Phone 2. And she asked that we watch those. And I was like, okay, no big deal. So what we did Friday morning, Matt cooked us breakfast. We ate breakfast. And then Emma did her homework. Matt went to the field. Jalen and I went and moved these actually turned in from one entertainment center to two TVs. So we did that. We got that all set up. And then, Matt went to the field and then he mowed. Emma did her homework. Jalen and I did this. And then we ended up having pizza and pizza burgers. I know, odd combination, but we were like, let's just make this for lunch. And then we watched Black Phone, a decent movie, kind of weird. And then Black Phone 2, really weird, but Jalen asked, and I was like, okay, we'll watch it. Yeah, we watched it. It was weird. And then, then we did that, and then we watched Young Guns, and I'm like, girls, I am telling you, you are going to fall in love with Emilio Estevez from this movie. You have got to watch Young Guns. So we watched Young Guns, and by the time it was over, the girls were like, I was like, I'm telling you, you're gonna love Emilio Estevez when you watch Young Guns. And we were gonna watch Young Guns too, but we didn't have the time, and everybody was tired. And then we still had planned Saturday because we were supposed to meet my twin sister and her boyfriend and my dad for my birthday, our birthday. So everybody went to bed, and then Saturday, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Okay, hold on a minute. I got to think about this. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't want to just had dead air time where you just stare at me trying to remember. Saturday, we played Switch, and then we ended up going to town early. And I bought, with my birthday money that my mother-in-law gave me, I bought a video game, and I played around with that for a while. And then we played Mario Kart for a little bit, and then we went to town early, and then we went to Fridays and ate dinner with my dad, my twin sister, her boyfriend, and me, or both our girls, and my husband. And then we left, and then my dad, Matt, me, and the girls went to this place in Effingham, which is just north of us a little bit, and we had half-price milkshakes for dessert, which I don't eat sugar, and I felt horrible for eating it. So then we went home, went to bed, and then Sunday we got up, and then Sunday we got up and we went to the nursing home and sat and spent a couple of hours with Nana. And then my plan was that we were going to spend some time. Now, this is getting into why I never got a chance to do a video. This is why I never got a chance to get into a video. I was always, every day I was like, oh, well, I can just, squeeze in a video, for Thursday I could get a video in for Friday, and I never got a chance to. And I was going to film Friday a video, but I never got a chance to, because by the time I realized, well, I could just get a video in real quick, I was so tired. But Sunday I was like, well, I'll just squeeze something in for Monday. But by the time I got a chance to, I mean, we went to the nursing home and spent a couple hours with Nana. And then we left there. The girls had to go back to school. And then Matt and I went to town again and went and got some groceries and then came home. And then by the time we got our day done, we would just sat there and ended up falling asleep in our chairs watching TV, and woke up and came to bed. And I was just like, I am so exhausted. So Monday, I thought, today's Tuesday when I'm filming this. Monday, I was like, you know what? I'll just film Monday, post it Monday, and be like, hey, I'm sorry this is late. Here you go. So yesterday, I have this whole list of things that I need to get done. And I needed to call my doctor. First of all, I needed to call my neurologist and say, hey, I cannot believe it, but I had a migraine. So what I did was, I have been taking 25 milligrams of my medication. So what I did was, I looked online, and it was like, 25 milligrams is the smallest. You can take 50 milligrams. So I took 2, and I'm doing okay on it. Can I get a 50 milligram prescription for my medication? And then I also had on my list of to-do was to call, because I still have not heard anything about my non-hormonal IUD. Nothing. And it's been almost 2 months, and nothing. I have never heard anything from it. So I was like, I need to call them. And then, that was it. So the first thing I did was I called my neurologist, and I had to leave a message that they were going to call me back. So then the second thing I did was I called the women's Heartland Healthcare, and I was like, hey, the order was placed in September for this non-hormonal. It's called a Paragard. And that is the only option. Like, I had to have non-hormonal because my neurologist said I can't have anything with hormones, because the visual disturbances with these migraines are such a high risk for stroke that any contraceptive that has hormones heightens the risk for stroke. So then it's stroke risk on top of that. He does not want me to have. So that leaves non-hormonal, which is the Paragard, then then the other contraceptive is, you know, abstinence, condom, you know, whatever, right? Tubal ligation. So that's the only options. So the tubal ligation, which is getting your tubes tied, the only thing with that is that it instantly throws you into menopause. And it's like, that is scary to me because of all of the things that come with it. And it's like, am I ready for that? You know, so, you know, that's that. And that's all that I got. That's the only options that I have. Abstinence, you know, condoms, tubal ligation, Paragard. Okay, so September 22nd, I ordered the Paragard. October, I called. No news. So it's now the middle of November, no news. So I call them and I'm like, hey, you know, where are we with this? I have still yet to hear anything. And the woman's like, I have no notes about it. You know, nobody knows anything. And I'm like, come on. And I'm like, well, did insurance deny it? And nobody just know. And she's like, no, if insurance would have denied it, I would have had a note here from it. And she's like, I don't know why insurance would deny contraceptive, birth control. And she's like, you know, let me call, because it's corporate. I'm not talking to the actual office that I go to. I'm talking to the corporate office. Of course, whatever. And she's like, let me call the office that you go to. And she calls the office and she put me on hold, you know, and she calls the office and she says, you know, they know nothing about it. And she goes, they've never heard of it taking 2 months. And I'm like, of course I haven't. Okay. And she's like, you know, let me call the ordering the device department and see what they say. And she's like, I left a message with them. They're going to call me back or they're going to call you and yada, yada. And I'm like, all right. So she hangs up with me. And then like an hour later, they call me. And this is exactly how the conversation went. I'm not exaggerating this. I cried after this conversation. The device ordering department called me and said her name and said who she was, where they're calling from, and said, it looks like your insurance denied the Paragard device. You can file a claim, blah blah blah, or you can pay out of pocket, blah blah blah, or you can go to Planned Parenthood to get it, blah 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 blah. And I was just sitting there dumbfounded, like, I said, this would have been nice to know a month ago when I called you guys. Why was there no note in this? Why was there nothing documented in my file? She said, well, I don't know. That's not my department. If you want to file a claim, you can call blah, 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 blah. Have a nice day. Bye. And hung up. And I just sat there and I was so frustrated and I started crying and I was like, so I had my moment. And I was like, I am done with this. It is almost the middle of November. I am done. My insurance is not going to get away with this because we have to change because we're on low insurance because I'm not working and my husband's a farmer and we can't afford insurance that covers a lot. So I was like, well, I used to work in insurance that covered providers, but I kind of did the other side. So I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. So I had my moment. I pulled my big girl pants up and I was like, okay, I'm not going back to that janky place where I was. So I was like, I'm calling where I used to go, where I had my daughter like almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago. So I was like, I don't know if they take the insurance that I have right now. So I called them and I said, you know, I explained what was happening. And I said, And I told him what was happening and how aggravated I was and how frustrating this has all been. And I don't understand why they would have denied. I'm sorry, pause that. Before I called the doctor, I was like, I called my husband and told him how I cried and I was upset. And I was just like, why? And I was like, well, how much, my husband and I talked and I was like, I wonder what out of pocket it is. So I got online and I found a number to call to find out how much this is out of pocket for this IUD, for this hormonal copper IUD, and it was $1,600 and some dollars. And I'm like, wow, okay. So that's when I decided I'm not doing this. How can insurance do this? So I was like, okay. That's when I decided to call my old doctor when I had my daughter. So I called them and they're like, well, we don't know if we take your insurance. You're going to have to call your insurance. She said, and we're all booked out for months. And I'm like, I have to have this before 2026 because I've had so much done and we've paid so much out of pocket. It's gotta be covered. The tubal ligation we've paid so much out of pocket, it's gonna have to be covered. So the person I was on the phone with, she goes, we are so booked out right now. We are accepting new patients, but all the providers are so booked out months right now. And I'm like, that's not gonna work. I need in 2025. And she's like, well, we have a new provider starting. She said, I can get you in on November 24th with this new provider. She said, but they're not credentialed, which I know all about credentialing because I worked credentialing at the hospital I worked at. So I know that they can bill for a provider for a insurance company. Like, okay, so if a provider is working at a facility and that facility is credentialed under this insurance company, that provider will be covered under that insurance company. They just have to go through the credentialing process, right? So that provider will be covered under that insurance. It just takes a minute. So I was like, okay, he will be covered. So I was like, okay, I can get in November. Let's just, I have to get this tubal ligation done because I know that my insurance won't do the Paragard, but I bet they'll do the ligation. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do the ligation through that janky place that I was at before. So I can get in here. So I was like, okay, you don't know if you take my insurance. Can we go ahead and schedule an appointment with this new provider? We'll do all of this now on the phone. After I get off the phone with you, I'll call my insurance company. See if you accept it. If you're in my network, and if you're not, I'll call you back and cancel the appointment. If you are, I'll call back and say it's a go. And she's like, yeah, sure. So we scheduled my appointment. All's good. It's just a establishing appointment, and we'll go from there. She's like, yeah, yada yada. We get the appointment scheduled for November 24th, which is Monday. Today's Tuesday, the 18th. So anyway, I get off the phone with her and I call the insurance company. And I said, this is what's going on. This is the provider that I'm seeing. And she's like, oh, he's not credentialed through them. You're going to have to find another provider. And I was like, oh, that's okay. No big deal. I already know how the process works. So I was like, okay, well, could you tell me when I get in with another provider at that facility, if I get a tubal ligation, what's covered and what's out of pocket for that? And she's like, it's 100% covered. Okay, that's all I needed to know. So I called the doctor's office back and I said, you are in network and it's fully covered. The appointment is a go. So I'm like, I wanted to tell my husband, I wanted to call that first place back and just ream them and say, you people are the most unorganized, disrespectful. Do you know how you need management that cares about your patients? To work in a medical setting and to know that you had a patient that sat and waited and waited. First of all, and I don't mean to go on a rant about this, but when I made the appointment and they told me for the Paragard that it would take a little bit, it would take a while for the Paragard to come in, no one mentioned the word month to me. Whenever I made that appointment, or whenever I ordered the Paragard, nobody said month. They said it would take a while. Who would have expected month? And it's just like, anyway. So I got that taken care of. I was just, oh man, I was so upset. And then on top of that, now let's switch that gear, okay? I still haven't heard back from my neurologist about upping my medication. So now I'm upset because I've already, for the last 3 days, been taking 2 of my pills. So now I'm thinking that I don't have enough of my pills. So finally they call me back and she's like, yeah, my neurologist's name is Dr. Pigeon. She's like, Dr. Pigeon, okay, you take your 50 milligram instead of 25. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. So I got that taken care of. So then, now we're to today. So I still haven't had time to film. So now we're to today, which is the 18th. In between all of this, I'm trying to design a granny stitch stocking, and I cannot get it to look right, and I'm frustrated. And I got this, and I'm like, I don't like it. And I'm frustrated with it. And then this morning I get up and I think I look at the clock at 4:30. I laid back down. I kind of fell asleep till about 5 something. I get out of bed and I pick it up and I start working on it again. And I get this. And I got it and it's perfect. And everything is right now and it's a great day. And I've got time to film and I'm happy. And I got my stocking working right and I'm happy. And I put my hand in there and all of my ends are weaved in and I got a piece of hair or 2. And it works perfect. I love it. So I went to I'm trying not to say home because I'm trying to get used to saying that this is home in St. Peter. Our house in St. Peter is no longer home, but I went to our house in St. Peter and scrounged up some more red and green yarn to make more of these so I can have a few of them, a few different color combinations to show in my tutorial that I will be making in the future when it gets closer to Christmas. Because I'd like to do one that's a solid color with a different color heel, and then maybe bigger chunks of color combinations. But I have a granny stitch stocking. And then I forgot to mention that when we went to town to have dinner with my dad and my sister for our birthday, I finally found red, white, and green yarn for my Christmas tree skirt. So I got yarn to start that. And I got all of my pieces ready for my Lapgan tutorial. So as soon as I finish this video, I'm going to go get started on that tutorial. So everything is finally coming together. So cross your fingers, knock on wood, all of that fun stuff, that everything is going to go good, that I am going to get my tubes tied, I am going to be good for that, and that my tutorials work good, and that my videos go good, and that I'm going to get back on track with everything. And that nothing's going to stop me anymore. I'm sorry. I've had a rough go of it, okay? But I have got something to show you. I am super happy to show you. So, I have gone through a couple of, I'm going to try not to show you any of this, but I want to pick it up. I have gone through a couple of my mother-in-law's blankets, and I washed them, and I folded them nice and neat, and some quilts of hers, and I come across a crocheted Afghan. I'm pretty sure is a not herringbone, hairpin lace on a hairpin loom, and I washed it, and I lightly dried it, and I think this is a stunning Afghan. And I folded it up and set it down here with my chair and everything because I wanted to show you guys how pretty this Afghan is. So before I go and stop yapping and stop complaining to you guys, I want to show you this Afghan. Look at this. Isn't this pretty? I love this. So I'm thinking a way to do this without the herringbone. Why do I keep saying that? A way to do this with without the hairpin lace is to do to crochet this with a braid right here in 3 different colors, because I know they don't make that anymore. But you could do like a spring green and then like a hunter green and maybe like a white or like a an ivory. But man, I love this Afghan. I just think this is so stinking pretty. I'm trying to lay it out right for you guys. But I wanted to show you guys this because I just think this is so pretty. But I know you guys are going to be seeing this on Wednesday, and I have no tutorial. Next Wednesday I will. I'm going to have the lap gam that I've told you 100 times I'm going to have done. And then after that, it's going to start, probably going to start Christmas. Although I do want to do something small to kind of fill up some of my little spaces, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. You know, maybe I do still want to design a little snowflake for Christmas. Christmas is my funnest, my most fun, my funnest. Matt will correct me on that one. But anyway, I love doing Christmas tutorials, are my favorite. But Christmas is so much fun to crochet for. But thank you guys for listening to me ramble and listen to. There's a reason I've been a little absent from videos, basically. And Friday, I'm going to try to have something. Well, I guess I can show you my stockings, my Christmas stockings. I will get back on Finish It Friday. It's just I need a minute. I've got to get get back into my groove, my YouTube groove, my tutorial Monday videos, Finish It Friday, tutorial Monday video, Finish It Friday. I'm getting there. I know it sounds like it's easy, but trust me, it is not. When you've got a million things going on in between there, it's not. But I am proud of this. I am super proud of this, because even though it's a granny stitch, it is not easy to come up with the leg, the toe to the heel. That is not easy, let me tell you. So I am proud that I figured this out. And it's all open. It's all open. You can stuff all kinds of stuff in there, even like, you know, little candies. I bet you could put that on. I don't know. I don't really know if my leg might be too big. I wish Jalen would. Look at that! I can't believe it fits. Oh my gosh. I gotta put my sock back on. It fits. Anyway, I hope that doesn't come out as a YouTube recommended thumbnail. If it does, I'm using it. Oh. Alright. Alright, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.